Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Fan Critical Podcast, because we do indeed this time have all five of us here for the first time in what feels like decades. Welcome to John, Emma, Lucy and Gareth. Hello, my lovely fellow Fan Critical podcasters.
Hello.
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 They're as enthused as I am, as you can tell, but much like the cast of this season of Stranger Things, we were scattered, but now we have finally joined up again. How are we all doing? We've all got varying degrees of illnesses going on. Lucy, struck down by COVID, I hear.
In my prime.
In her prime. She has avoided it, listeners. Dear listeners, she has avoided it for what's in the UK, mind, which is a cesspit for COVID. John's had it like 7 times at this point.
Popular,
she has avoided it up to now. Valiant effort, I will say.
Where's
that.
my parade?
I've organised one, but
it's cancelled now because you got COVID.
yeah, unfortunately, because Boris, got kicked out, it's kind of subsided your. Yeah, that is very much a cause for celebration. John, how you doing over there? Looking good?
Oh, thanks very much, mate. That's very random, but yeah,
looking good, mate.
Yeah, looking good, feeling good.
You're looking sharp.
Sexy.
John this morning said, I'm going to have to lie down, and just went and lay on his back on the
grass.
sofa,
Such a
looking really
grass,
sorry for himself.
honestly.
I was being really smug, and I was like, oh, I feel great. And then all of a sudden the hangover hit me, and I was like, I feel terrible.
Yeah, but now I'm drinking a beer and Moretti at 11 a.m. on a Saturday. So,
Beautiful. That's a lovely.
That's today's
Lovely.
sponsor,
Italian.
beer and Moretti.
Winning.
I wish.
So I'm feeling good, slightly hungover because obviously it's been a while since I've had a drink. I'm also
as good as
sitting
you're
here
looking,
wondering. Mate. Well, yeah, there you go. Cheers, thanks very much. People are now going to be like, "What's he done? Has he done something?" Or they're going to start. The 2 people that are listening are going to be, yeah. Now I'm feeling good. I am going to try to be as positive as possible in this podcast.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, no,
Good,
because
good
you
of
know
you to
what?
test out the pop filter there as well. As positive as
Pop.
possible in this podcast.
Papa.
Creepy.
Emma?
Yeah, that is creepy. Yeah.
I'm all right, actually. Good. I've had John to stay. We went out for a nice dinner at the pub. Managed to catch the one stop before it closed to continue drinking. Watched a film.
I don't need to
and
know
I
our
fell asleep.
life. All right.
I fell asleep in a film.
What film did you
We
well, there
watch?
we go.
watched
I want to know.
Midsummer.
Watch Midsummer.
Midsummer.
Oh, what a
Oh.
fucking
Film.
I
great
haven't seen it.
film.
Good
Yeah.
choice.
Oh, shit.
Emma fell
Did
asleep.
you enjoy it?
Yeah, but John it enacted the ending for me this morning, so I know what happened. He
Yeah.
did a
No,
lot
I
of...
didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't just
And
run
John.
around the house
I
naked.
I haven't seen it. La la la
Your-
la la la. I haven't seen it.
Your room does look very flame-licked.
Yes. Oh, lovely. And Gareth, you're here with me in person.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Yeah, good.
That it?
Yep.
Short, sweet, simple.
That's me.
Now we've actually just Gareth has only just finished Stranger Things season 4 part 2. I have already seen it, but I watched it again with him right now. We've literally run from his sofa, set up the equipment, and we are here drinking very potent beers. Yeah, bro. Yeah,
yeah.
feel those synthy Kate Bush vibes. Yeah, so we are pumped and we are ready to talk about this show. I can see John shaking his head in what he said was going to be a positive attitude has already shifted to sarcastic.
I'm going to be as pleasantly positive as I possibly can.
Pleasantly possible positive.
Unbelievable.
Jesus Christ.
So I think it is very fitting that this show is one of the first things that this podcast ever covered. We, of course, started with Game of Thrones, but then we spread our wings and we went, on several different tangents. And we thought, we'll throw enough shit at the wall and see what sticks. And one of the things was Stranger Things. Lovely, beautiful. And we love Stranger Things. And
wall?
It's covered in shit.
Yeah, true. So it is nice that we're all
Some of it's stuck.
Rest of it is on the floor in a pile.
It is nice that we're all back together talking about a show that we actually, that started off this podcast. I see this as one of the pillars of the podcast. And every time a season comes out, we say, how are we going to cover the show? Because it's difficult. It's Netflix. We end up even this time, I was like, right, we're just going to do one podcast on it. We ended up having 3 on it, guys, because it was so spread out. Of course, we had our first impressions episode with Lucy and Emma.
That was good. That
That was good. That covered the first 2 episodes. Then
second
we had
best one we've had so far.
second best out of 2. Then we had our season 4 part 1 review, and now we're back to finish the job. Stranger Things season 4 part 2. Where do we begin? Now, this is a spoiler cast, so everything from this point on is spoiler territory. If you haven't seen the last 2 episodes, the mammoth film length episodes, stop what you are doing right now. Go watch them. Then, of
Piss
course,
off.
come back and listen to this excellent. Well, don't listen to John. Come back and listen to this
Good riddance.
excellent podcast.
Yeah. I always
Okay,
say.
let's go around the room. Let's do this like we used to do it. I want your blueberry score, and this isn't a blueberry score for the last 2 episodes. This is a blueberry score now. A revision of our previous scores, which I believe were all 4s for part 1. And we're going to say now, what is your blueberry score for Stranger Things season 4 after seeing the last 2 episodes? Okay, I'm going to start with Emma because it's been a while since I've heard from your lovely voice.
Oh, thanks,
Please.
Len. Well, we had a little spoiler pre-pod
Please.
cast last night.
Sorry. It's just the way Len just went there.
Please.
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 Very
Redlining.
teleprompter-esque today, I think.
And I've given quite a lot of thought to this. So for anyone who does not know what the blueberry scale is, it is very simple. You can either have anywhere from 0 to 5 blueberries. 0 is the worst, 5 is the best, and there can be no halves. That's not the first
Thank
time
you.
I've said that sentence.
Yep.
Please.
I was torn. I was torn about this, but actually I think overall season 4 could have been a higher score if it wasn't like watching a film for every episode. And I will moan about that one thing that I didn't
Hates
like.
long things.
So, 90
Hates the
minutes
big
for a
ones.
film. I'll watch 20, 30-minute episodes, totally different. Anyway. I thought it was great. It's still a solid 4 blueberries for me. It doesn't quite tip it into the 5. I mean, you can't beat season 1.
Lovely.
But 4. 4.
Oh, Len taking his clothes off there. Look.
Len's getting undressed at that.
It's very hot here,
It's-
sorry.
It's not that hot.
It's quite hot here.
Well, you're not just wearing a t-shirt. In my mind, it looks like you've taken a t-shirt off, and now you've got another t-shirt underneath the t-shirt.
Yeah, he likes
Bizarre.
layers.
It's a grey
Yeah.
t-shirt.
It was a jumper.
And there's a grey t-shirt.
many layers to Len. Many layers, and they're
I
all
must get out
grey.
of this disguise.
Great.
Lovely. Is that it, Emma? You got any more to
Yeah,
add to
I was
that?
trying to
Or
be
is it-
concise
4 is a
for
good
you.
score. No, it's beautiful and concise. Thank you very
4
much,
is
Emma.
a good score.
I'm gonna
She said it already. She hates long things.
That's true. She does hate long things, Gareth. Very well noted. I'm going to pass it to Gareth next, who will not be as concise, I'm sure.
Fine, I won't be. I gave it 4 after the
You
first.
did. We all did. I think we all did. I mean, obviously, Emma wasn't in the part 1, but I would have assumed she would have given it 4.
I did,
Quite
yes.
right,
Yeah, same score.
He's tracked your trajectory of scores and realises this would be a 4. I think it is still a 4 blueberry show for me, which I think is fine. I mean, obviously it's really good. That's a really good score. I just I think that is indicative of maybe a slight hint of disappointment in the last episode, because before that, I think I really was thinking,
What were you watching? You were happy when you were watching it.
this could become a 5 blueberry season, and so I'm just slightly disappointed that it hasn't become a 5 blueberry season. It's a 4 bloob, which is again that's seriously high quality. There is not a lot of TV that I'm watching at the moment.
Muchos good.
That's that high,
Muy
right?
bueno.
Muy bueno.
Not a lot that I'm watching at the moment that is
Higher than
achieving
Argyle and Jonathan.
4 blueberries. Yeah, that's good.
I don't know.
But
Script
speaking
right,
of Argyle, it does have some annoying characters in this show,
Yeah,
in
that's
this
fair.
season, that I don't think existed in season 1. I don't think there was that kind
No.
of nonsense character.
No.
He's not the only one either. We'll talk more as we go.
Will talk more? Or
Yeah, maybe.
poor Will.
He's not a blueberry costing character. But in terms of the actual kind of beats of the show, I think it was dramatic, and yes, it's tropey, but I kind of enjoy the tropes, and they
boy.
sort of slightly make you think at times that it's not going to be tropey, which is good. That's exactly what you want before leaning right back into the trope.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was very good. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't perfect.
No.
So I'm giving it a 4 blue.
Nice. I like that. I'm happy that you've stuck with your score. We're going to move on to John now, who's come into this podcast saying that he's going to be positive. He's trying. He's clawing at the essence of positivity. Over to you, John.
I feel like I was too concise now.
Yeah, no. I'm going to be very concise because I've heard you don't like long things. I'm a big fan of everyone just clarifying that 4 out of 5 is a good score. Just for any listeners,
very good score. It's very good.
Confused.
It's great.
Yeah. Oh, he said 4 out of 5. What does this mean? Who's that person?
I wonder if you liked it.
The Yorkshireman.
I don't know. Did he like it? Did he
Jon
like
Snow.
it?
It's Kell Brook.
Well, have you gone
It's
for
Kell
it?
Brook, the
Okay.
boxer, John.
Yeah. Yeah. Kell Brook. So little reference there for our very niche boxing fans. That listen to the podcast. Very, 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 very similar to Gaz, actually. I think it could have been a 5. I think they completely bottled it in the season finale. Bottled it.
We
big
literally said, John, sorry to say this. There was a moment or 2 moments where me and Gaz turned to each other. I think we even maybe paused the show and we said, John's going to hate that. And his actual words...
I said what your actual words were going to
would be, they bottled it. Anyway, resume play. Sorry, John.
Yeah. I have a theory, actually, and I went over this last night
Save it
with
for the corner.
Emma.
Yeah.
Something about this season reeks of a rewrite.
Okay.
I'm bought into this theory.
But I'll go into that later. But yeah, so I'd say a 4. I think there are still, even though they did bottle it, there are still moments where, fucking hell, 11 and Hopper reuniting.
Oh my God! I said to Gaz,
that gets
so
you right
beautiful.
in the feels. That's like, you know what? I'm going to put these Pringles down. Appreciate this moment for what it is.
Wipe my teary
They
eyes.
They say
with
once
sour
you
cream
pop,
and
you
onion.
can't stop.
Yeah. What are
He
these
did.
weird euphemisms that keep coming up? Honestly. So yeah, coming up. What? But yeah, so
God.
I know it's crass, isn't
Crass.
it? But anyway, 4 out of 5,
Awful.
which for those in Yorkshire, that is a good score.
Lovely. Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Uh,
Very good score.
Very
some
good
would say.
score. Great score. Lucy, if you can give us a few words, that would be amazing. Thank you for turning up with COVID. We really do appreciate
Some
it.
words for you. I sort of agree with what everyone said. I would give it 4 blueberries. I think the ending was a letdown. I feel like a lot of character development was sort of sacrificed on the altar of plot, and I think that's okay, but then the plot resolution wasn't very good, so we kind of missed out on a lot of the characters. There's too much plot, really. I think too much going on in different spheres, and it wasn't satisfying to me. The ending of it, just nothing being resolved. Nobody really died. It always annoys me.
Whoa, you
quite
are
a few people
shortchanging
died.
Eddie, because Eddie is
I
a
said
fantastic
no one really.
character. He is honestly
He's-
top
he's
5
a-
characters. I
he's-
love that guy.
But they only tend to kill people that have just
Yeah,
appeared.
yeah.
As in,
I agree
you
with
know,
that.
had Max actually died, I cried because I thought
Yeah,
she was
that
dead.
was brutal.
And I thought, oh God, they've done it. And it's like, oh, she's not even dead. Like, I find it quite annoying and quite childish that when shows do that. I think a lot of characters kind of were hard done by because they were trying to fit in so much plot. And that's, as I say, that's okay if you then get that satisfying resolution to said plot. I don't know why I'm doing this like I'm Mussolini.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
really trying to hammer home my point
Yeah,
with my
the hand
hand.
gestures
Change
are
the
going
going
on.
on. Fucking hell.
Jesus.
Nice reference for our niche group of dictator fans. That listen.
If you love your dictators,
It was definitely.
Great film.
I'm just going to keep talking because I don't know how much longer I've got.
yeah.
It was definitely a 4 blueberry show overall, and I really enjoyed it. But I was a bit let down by the ending.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can see all of the reasons. Get the klaxon. But I can see all of the reasons why you would think that it is a complete bottle job, John. And I can understand that, Lucy, you feel that they maybe didn't stick the landing necessarily. But what I will say is this is the most fun I've had watching a TV show for a fucking very long time. I think this, even watching this with Gaz, like the last hour and a half of the final episode, I was having such a good time. Like, it's such
Even
fun,
with Gaz?
even with Gaz,
Even with
it's
Gaz,
such a
it
fun,
was quite good.
Even watching this with Gaz.
yeah, it's such
The
a
fun
fun
sucker.
viewing experience. Like, genuinely, it reminded me of when we watched.
Yeah, hold on. What did you mean?
No, I just mean
Even watching it with my best friend was just fun.
Even
Well-
then, it was okay.
I'm likening it to something, right? So even when we were doing Game of Thrones Season 7, do you remember when like the Battle of Winterfell was happening and we were all so jacked and like we were so excited? You can listen to our live reactions when we did
doing
it.
weights
I don't recall
beforehand.
being jacked. but-
And basically, it reminded me of that a bit. It felt like Stranger Things has gone to a new sort of epic level, which I really, really enjoyed. I think the show this season has completely matured. The horror elements have gone way better. Like with the, we talked about it in the previous episodes about the way that horror was introduced very quickly. I think the decision to delay the final 2 episodes was actually the correct move because it kept, and we criticised, all of us did, Stranger Things for just, and it's hard for us to podcast on because it just is there and then it's gone. Within like 2 or 3 weeks, it's gone. But now it's been in the public memory for months. And not only that, Kate Bush's bank balance has gone through the roof for months.
Oh, Kate Bush.
Because obviously she's doing, she's raking in the big bucks, yeah? And that just goes to show you the reach of this show now has reached, in my opinion, this is Game of Thrones level reach. This
I mean,
is
it's revived Kate
global
Bush's career
reach.
in America. Who knew?
100%. And I think it was an inspired decision to delay the 2-parter. I know, Emma, you don't like the long episodes. I know, Lucy, from listening to a lot of your guys' podcasts, that you don't like
90
things
minutes.
that are too long. But what I will say is, yes, I do think Argyle, terrible addition. I think, what's that fucking Russian called, Gary? Gary?
Gary the Russian.
Who's Gary?
Yuri.
Fucking hell.
Yuri. I was saying
Yuri,
Gaz.
yeah.
I was thinking Yuri. Then I said Gaz, and it came out as Gary. Oh
Gary.
God, that's it. He hates that
Yuri.
as well.
It's
He
Lenny and
fucking
Gary.
hates that.
Yeah, that is scandalous.
It's just not my name, is it?
But
Somebody else's name.
those characters, they're fucking tripe.
Gary,
Get rid of those.
Yuri, and Argyle. All shit.
Yeah, all shit. But what I
Rubbish.
will say is, I felt the long episodes really helped develop and give us those character moments, and even things that I know that John won't like or something. But the conversation with Will and Mike in the van, where he suddenly starts crying his eyes out after showing him the painting.
He's a bit of a strange actor.
He's definitely a strange actor. I'm not just, but I'm saying
Yeah.
I'm saying the Duffer Brothers are giving the characters time. And you know what? We criticize Game of Thrones for sitting there and rushing everything. At least these guys are giving the characters due diligence. Whether they're shit characters or not, that's fair enough. But at least they're
I don't
giving
know that
them
they
the
are
time.
though. Like, what did Mike get this season?
Yeah.
He got
Well,
hardly
Mike did have his
anything.
moment. Remember,
You're
he,
the heart,
to get
are
over
you?
that
You
love,
haven't done anything.
But-
saying that he loves her. Thing.
I
That was
agree,
a
but then
thing.
you can't deny the fact that there are other characters who are getting a lot of development, like Eddie, Robin, and her relationship with Nancy. You could go
That's
on.
at the expense of the originals.
Yeah, but that's gonna
What
happen.
did Lucas really do?
That's-
Nothing.
no,
What did
Lucas had a
Mike
great
really do?
arc.
Nothing.
Lucas
Even
had a
Dustin
great
didn't get
arc
much
this
in
season.
this, I think.
He had about
compared.
3 lines of dialogue.
No,
Yeah,
Lucas,
I don't know.
Lucas
I
had
don't
a
agree
lot.
with the character development aspect of it. I feel like there was too much plot.
I think it's easily the strongest the show's been in terms of character development, apart from season 1 where they introduced everyone, which is obviously going to come across that way. But the use of practical effects, the Freddy Krueger type villain, and Vecna makes this season it's so much better to have a fucking villain and an enemy that is focused on something and is there physically. It's not a fucking CGI Marvel villain. It is, this guy was in makeup for fucking 11 hours a day. And he's
11.
oh
Oh,
Coincidence.
Good that.
Turn it up to 11.
And I thought the practical effects were amazing. I think the budget's obviously gone through the roof. I have had a ball watching this season. It got me through a terrible flight to England. It got me, off on the edge of my seat, multiple times during that finale. I get the thing about bottling it, and I agree that maybe they didn't just go for it when they should have maybe gone for it. But you know what? If they had killed Max, I'd be fucking devastated because I love that character, and I'd rather her be alive and then bottle it than them commit to it and then me be annoyed that the character's dead. So
She's not real though.
yeah, but, Lucy,
She should have just died.
how do you
this
feel about
is
all your little
really
Harry
nice.
Potter characters if they got fucking executed in the head? You'd be gutted, mate.
When they die, it's good because it feels real.
What bizarre thing to say. If they got executed in the
What?
head, was the last thing to say.
I'm still laughing at Gary.
He was executed.
Anyway.
Where?
I just think the
In the head.
build-up would have had more impact had Max actually died and had the group actually lost one of their own.
She might die. Who
Did you
knows?
say he might die?
No, she
Oh,
might die.
might die.
Yeah. But I actually really enjoyed it. I'm giving it 5 because of the enjoyment factor, and we've talked about this before. About how when you watched it, how you watched it, who you watched it with, and the emotions you are, in that place watching something. It was the perfect show at the perfect moment for me, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm giving it 5 blueberries, and that's how we've talked about with a lot of the How the Fuck series that we've done. Anyone who doesn't listen to those, please do go check them out. How the fuck have you not seen that? We've talked about when you watch something. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like
Yes.
Game of Thrones, even though the last season was terrible, watching it with you guys made it really fun for me. Like
It's the
especially Battle of
environment and the
Winterfell.
company and how you feel about
Yeah,
it, isn't it?
that's
It's
right.
not just, is this an amazing bit of
And-
TV?
Exactly. And I think for me it resonated on a level that I just had a really good time watching it, and it was lovely. So a 5 for me. But what I do like is that we all really like this season. I mean, just a quick whip round the room. Do you think this is the strongest since season 1? I would say yes, personally.
Definitely.
Yeah, since season 1, but season 1 is still the best.
Yeah.
Perfect
I
bit
can
of
see that
television,
because season
season
1 is it feels that way, yeah. But I think Vecna, and we'll talk about him more later, but definitely needed for this show to sort of go to the next level. I think instead of just having fucking smoke
It's a
monsters,
tangible
and-
villain, isn't it?
exactly. With motivations and a relation to 11, who needed a sort of antithesis, sort of character.
Yeah.
So anyway, but hey, that's our thoughts. That's our general synopsis. But what we're going to do next is get into some highlights and obviously some lowlights from season 4 of Stranger Things. When we used to play football, in our little village, like countryside village, we used to go every Friday. We used to have a beer and we used to go play in this literal field, wasn't it, Gareth? It was a literal
It
field.
was literally a field.
It was literally a field.
Charlie Painter. He was a farmer.
Yeah.
It was called a painter.
So you put 2 goalposts in a field, and we used to play 11 aside. And this guy that Gaz we played with always didn't know Gaz's name and just shouted Gary to him whenever he had the ball.
Gary!
And Gaz used to get so fucking annoyed by people calling him Gary. So that's why that has really hit some sort of childhood nerve.
There you go.
Sorry, Gaz.
He's hit a childhood nerve. Anyway, let's move on to our highlights. Now, I think the penultimate episode of the season, which was titled Papa, and Papa is fucking annoying. Dr. Brenner is fucking annoying, and his storyline is fucking annoying. However, I felt there were some really good moments in that episode, and I wanted to bring up the 11 and the helicopter shot where she brings it down. That
so
was
much budget on that.
Oh my god, it looks so fucking good.
It was
I
sick.
literally was like, wow. It's worth it. All of it's worth it for that one shot. That shot was glorious. Do you not reckon, guys?
Yes.
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 Beautiful. Beautiful.
No, it was amazing, and because it was the first kind of really big, 11-y thing, wasn't it? I'm not eloquent this morning, and it looked epic, and it was exciting, and there was a moment of kind of trepidation of going, is this going to go the way that we think it's going to go? Yeah, it was really cool, very cool.
Yeah, and it was a fuck you moment. It was like a fuck yeah moment, sorry. And then there was a fuck you moment
Fuck yeah, fuck
to
you.
Brenner when he was on the floor dying.
That was brutal.
What, the 11 thing?
Yeah.
Oh man,
'Cause
he needed to be put in his place. Like he's doing it for maybe the right reasons.
I think he is. I think this is the thing. He's made the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
But with the right intentions.
Yeah. but it's hurt a lot of people, including her mother, along the way.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that he was in his dying moments, he was searching for that validation. He was like, "Tell me you're okay, like with what I've done or whatever," and she didn't give it to him.
No, I'm not.
She said, see you later.
See you later. I liked it. I liked that. That was a brutal but fair, I felt, response. And I felt like if Brenner had got some sort of
Harsh but fair.
peace in that moment, it would have been fucking disgusting, really. Think of all the kids that have died. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I wanted her to kill him.
That's true.
Like Vecna.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted.
you wanted
I just want a lot of death, it turns out. I just want people to die.
I want all my
Lucy's
favourite
like,
characters to die. Even Gary.
Well, look, Brenner. Papa is the worst.
COVID has made
Bloodthirsty.
Lucy bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
Jesus,
It's hardened me.
This might be a new strain, everyone.
Maybe
This
it's
could.
like RoboCop or something. There's a lot of death in that, isn't there?
There's a lot of death in RoboCop.
Yeah. Watch that.
I haven't seen it.
Watch Game of Thrones. There's a lot of death in that.
She hasn't seen RoboCop. How the
How the fuck
has
is
How the
not
fuck
seen
have you
that?
not seen that?
Shocking.
It is shocking.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
Why didn't
Unbelievable.
he, whilst he was on the floor, say to 11, can you use that special power that you're going to use in the next episode to save my life, please?
I don't think. And we'll talk. Yeah, and I knew you'd hate that. It's very Ray, isn't it, John? In
It was it was very Len.
Rise of
It was
Skywalker.
like you walked into the episode and went, "No, you're not going to die."
No.
Actually. And so who's this
No.
guy?
No gingers are allowed to die on my watch. All right, understand? I protect and speak for all gingers. All right. So Max, you're not going anywhere.
I thought it was a pretty boring episode.
What, the penultimate one?
I think all in all, you're not wrong. But I think for that ending, I sort of was just so jacked at the end of it. I was like, okay, I'll let it go.
Why do you keep getting jacked?
Yeah, he's always so jacked.
I've never
Jack,
heard
man.
Len
He's also
use that
said some
phrase
random
before.
stuff today. Like, I mean, you sound like you're reading from a teleprompter, but that's fine. You also said epic level earlier.
Epic level.
And
No, I
now,
didn't. No, I didn't say.
Yeah,
that.
you said.
You said I said epic level.
Yeah, you said epic level, and since then, all
Is
I
he
can
making shit
imagine
up? You got COVID.
is, you went. It took it to that epic level. Yeah, but you'll just edit it out in the. Yeah. But anyway, so now I can just
Sneaky.
imagine, like via our Patreon, get your hype Len epic level teas. They'll be grey, obviously.
You'll feel jacked.
And they're to be worn under other grey t-shirts.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
All right. Let's move it on from my epic level discussion onto a character who did, I think, elevate the show and bring some epicness to Metallica, and that is Eddie Munson, who, you know, and Lucy, you are completely right when you say that they introduce these characters and they kill them off, and they do. They do. I think it's very impressive how they introduce characters and are able to make us care about them so much compared to some of the original cast members, and then kill them off. I mean, I agree.
Toying with our emotions.
You know that they are toying with our emotions. They're like, introduce an amazing character and then they kill him. Let's talk about the first thing first. Master of Puppets, the Metallica scene was fucking incredible.
Yeah,
I
stupendous.
absolutely adored that. Stupendous.
Epic level of show.
And Gaz was like, it's like one of their music videos. I was like, yeah, it's like one of their music videos, but like actually well produced. Like to a
but,
crazy level.
Like, that is exactly what they would have wanted their music videos to look
Why are
like.
we having a go at Metallica?
I saw Metallica at that festival where I got COVID.
Did
so
you?
I blame them for my current state. Yeah.
Who's
They-
God, they're loud.
Who's the puppet now? Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah.
He did say, "We are Metallica, and so are you." So I'm part of
Fuck.
Metallica.
Hive mind.
Go. So Metallica have got COVID now.
I haven't signed up for this. Imagine that.
I don't really like your music, but okay.
I don't want to be. All right, well, not you. You go over there. But everyone else is Metallica. Yay.
So are you.
No, you've got COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good scene though. Yeah.
Don't want to be Metallica. Have COVID.
No, I think what we were saying is, I don't think Len was having a go at Metallica and saying their music videos weren't good, but they were, like, their music videos at that time were produced during the 80s, and they couldn't make them look as good as they can look today. This is like a reimagining
Yeah, I was just having a go at Len.
Yeah, that's right.
of classic, like, metal music.
You can
videos.
see like
It's
you can
fucking
see the
cool.
bats on strings.
Yeah.
Oh, they're coming!
Yeah, that one's upside down. That bat's upside down.
It's dead.
That scene was amazing, though.
It was,
Like it was exciting. It was so well produced. It was cool. It was kind of
It was so metal.
yeah.
it was
very.
It was also
I was
cheesy as
jacked
fuck.
when I
Like
watched that.
it was properly cheesy.
Yeah.
yeah, we were all jacked.
yeah.
But it
Epic
was so much fun. That was a lot of fun. I think this ties into what Len's talking about. In that it's just a lot of fun watching this show. It does get
I
heavy.
think those bits are fun.
Yeah.
And I think the gang trying to resolve the issues is very fun. I think Russia's not fun. I think 11's not fun. And I think Mike and that them man there are not fun. But I do think the main gang, I love it.
I do.
It's very effective.
Yeah, Lucy, I think you're right. I think the show suffers from the fact that it has too many characters now. So they
Because I
had
won't
to.
fucking kill any of them off. That's why.
I know, John. So what I'm
So
saying.
all I'm saying.
What I'm saying to you is they committed to so many characters, so they had to spread them. But then when I felt it was very satisfying actually how the threads came together in this episode, especially the way that it was edited. I felt the editing was actually fantastic, and the way it moved each story in so many separate places together. Like as much as I hate how disparate the gang had been throughout the season, I do enjoy the way that they were connected back together, and especially the resolution at the end of this episode, which lets me think that season 5 is going to be very concentrated and very much from the off. We're straight back at that scene at the end of the episode.
I was going to say, you talk about that juxtaposition. It's just quite a nice little segue. So at the end, Russia, not awesome. It's not the best part of the season, and it probably could have been done differently. But there's a bit
Russia, not awesome.
not awesome, not
Says it
awesome,
all.
That again.
not awesome.
Put that on a t-shirt.
But there's like you flash between Hopper and the Sword and the Demogorgon and Nancy and Steve. Like that juxtaposition, you get quite a lot of that. Is very, very cool, and I quite like that.
Yeah, it's very cool. I think it was very well done. And just finish it up on Eddie. His death actually really got me, and it was pretty good. And I think like Dustin, he could do the funny stuff, but he could do the serious stuff too. And
That scene with
fuck
him
me,
and Eddie's uncle.
that's powerful. It's a powerful scene.
I was in floods of tears watching that. I had to pause it.
I
It was
was-
so
sad.
good.
Yeah. Look, he did a good job. Good acting. Looks a bit weird when he's crying, but good acting.
good
But
on him.
also, I'm just sitting there going, I'm fuming because it's like it's just constant, isn't it? Like, all right, this is our guest actor for the season.
Yeah,
You know,
I get that.
fucking Samwise Gamgee dead, Billy dead. Like, fucking hell.
This is what I mean.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, John. And
Bob
that
the
is a
Brain.
trope that they kind of keep doing in their own right. They've created their own fucking trope now, which they're doing every season. But I think we'll talk about it at the end. But next season, people have to go, and I think they will be going.
Can I offer an alternative?
Of course, mate. Yeah, you can offer whatever you like.
I think so. This comes back to the rewriting stuff.
Please.
I think it was supposed to be Steve that died.
No, well, I did say I thought he should die, that he would die.
Weirdly, they came up with some quotes. I've been reading a few interviews where they were like, "Steve is never going to die," very Team America style.
Why? Because what are they doing with him? Like, why does no one want him? I don't understand.
I love
It's fucking
Steve.
Steve Harrington, and it's like
I want Steve.
I would happily take Steve.
I want Steve.
I do too.
Even John would have Steve.
Yes.
Jesus.
I think him dying would be a better outcome than him just being like inconsequential, because he's such a hero.
Yeah, they did say that he wouldn't, but yeah.
But if you look
Why?
at the season as a whole, so you got the little conflict as to whether or not Steve and Dustin are as close as they used to be, and that line where he's like, where Eddie says to him, "I love you, man." Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I mean that's not as powerful with two characters that have been together for 8 episodes as it would
Yeah,
be
exactly.
if
Yeah.
Steve would have said that
Yeah.
to Dustin. Also, at the end of the series, it's like you've got this. To me, it would have made more sense for Nancy to be devastated and for Jonathan to
Yeah.
be like, "This is a bit weird. Like, what's going on here?" you've got Steve sort of standing there, just like organising clothes, and it's like he doesn't actually have anything left to do as a character.
Yeah,
He's kind
and
of
it's
just
that's what I
stuck in the
mean.
middle.
I'm
would
actually-
have a
He's
real impact.
inconsequential.
Yeah,
I'm completely
More
on
so
board
than
with
Eddie,
this.
like more so than Eddie.
Yeah, it
Because
does.
Steve is one of the best characters, and you've kind of brought someone in that's done really well, and then killed them. It doesn't feel the same, like you say, with the Dustin relationship. Had that been Steve, that would have been like fucking off the
if you go
hook.
to the bit where Steve and Nancy and Robin are in the house, even when they're attacking Vecna, it's like, you know, Robin throws the Molotov cocktail. I know Steve does as well. But he's standing there with an axe, and it's like that just never comes into play. And it's I'm 100% convinced that either they wrote Eddie in after thinking, well, we can't kill Steve off.
Or
Or
they bottled it.
Yeah, or it's like they swapped the characters, so Eddie was supposed to be with the girls. If you think of the fact that Steve's injured at this point as well, so it makes zero sense for him.
Yeah, that never really comes
It
back.
makes zero sense for him to be going into the house with those girls, and also the whole trope of his character is he always gets stuck with the kids. So it would have made sense for him to still be with Dustin.
Yeah, that is right, actually.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things in there which I think are potentially accurate, because even the actor who played Eddie Munson said that the future of his character was uncertain, and then he thought he might have done a good enough job for them to write his character into future seasons. But then they said that they killed him.
No.
So there's a lot of, he did do a fantastic job, like 100%, like what a great character. But I like that theory, John. And you know what? It comes back to that thing. Like, yes, I think the episode would have been immensely stronger because if Steve died.
Imagine that.
Fucking
It's a 5
hell.
blue. It'd be a 5
Yeah,
blue.
it would. Because it would be devastating, but the impact it would have had would
Exactly.
have been so worth it.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you said to me, we're going into season 5 without Steve, I'd be like, I fucking love Steve, man. I want that guy there. It's like saying if they
Yeah,
killed
but he would appear in like the clouds at one point when Dustin's
as
like,
a force
Like
ghost.
Mufasa.
Yeah.
what do I do? If only you were here, Steve.
I've been here all along, Dustin.
In your
It just
heart.
took you this long to see me. You just weren't ready to see me.
Yeah. Put some clothes on.
No. Put some clothes on, please. Inappropriate around children. Anyway, let's talk about. So we've talked about Kate Bush, right? And I love the way that this season has used music to essentially, it's resurrected her career. It's and it's also just. I have listened to that song on repeat in the car, probably about. At this point, I'd say 50 to 100 times. It's insane
up
how much
singing
I've
it
listened to
the
that
other
song.
You don't need to protect yourself from Vecna, mate.
That's
You'll
true.
Be all right.
That is true.
But is Max not aware that other Kate Bush songs are available?
Of course,
Like,
of course they
from
are.
that album.
Working woman.
I've been
and-
listening
She's
to
like,
the
I'm just gonna wear
That album. That album is fantastic.
I've been listening to the
Yeah.
This Is Kate Bush
Yeah.
thing
On
on
Spotify.
Spotify.
Yeah, lovely.
And like 50 of their songs.
I mean, you can't beat Wuthering Heights. If that come out, that'd be brilliant. Killing Vecna with interpretation.
I tell you what.
Cloud
I think,
busting, that's
I
what
think
you need.
Cloud Busting is one of the most
Cloud
underrated
Busting
songs.
is a good song.
in the world.
Very good song.
It's less
fantastic.
sinister, I guess.
Yeah,
Like
but
sound wise.
she has got like when she makes a hit, they're
Ooh.
incredible. She also has some really fucking weird songs.
Oh, they're so bizarre.
It's so
Yeah.
But
bizarre.
nowadays they'd be lauded. The thing is, if she had
Cool
come out
Bush
now,
No, she's better than her. Better than Lord.
yeah,
Kate Bush, 5 bloobs.
But she was critically acclaimed back in the day, though. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh my god, who is this like
No, she
mystery
was.
woman? Like
She
she
was.
was like a very critically acclaimed artist.
but never was number one in the UK. Never was number one in the US. Never had a number one album, and now she's got all 3.
Good.
Amazing,
Well
amazing.
Done, Kate Bush.
Did you see
Great
the
for
quote?
her.
Did you see the quote from Kate Bush? It was like an interview with her, and they were like, obviously popularity and that, Stranger Things. And they said, how do you feel about the impact that it's had on you? And she went, yeah, the money's great.
Fair play.
She didn't actually say that.
Stranger Things,
Fair
though,
play.
0 bloobs.
Before any Kate Bush fans go mental, she actually didn't say that.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But the latest, the version of Running Up That Hill in the final episode,
Oh shit, yeah,
I didn't think
the remix.
they could do any more than they did in episode
Jay-Z.
4, and this was unreal.
It was
so good.
It was so good, and that's what I wanted to bring up next, Gareth. Is that sort of climactic moment where Eleven, has the Matrix style speech from Mike, and then that whole sequence kicks off. It is Matrix, isn't it? It's when fucking Trinity goes, "I love you," and then he comes back to life, and
the power of love.
The power of love. If that
Also
was in
another
there,
good song.
great song as well.
Imagine that.
Fucking
hell.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Radiate
But no, that
Pete Gabriel?
A force from above.
that remix, which I'll insert here. It was amazing. It was literally like the culmination of Hopper beheading the Demogorgon, and then
with Conan's sword,
them throwing the Molotovs and stuff at Vecna, and the Terminator 2 fucking motif that was going on at the same time. I was just like, what is going on here? This is like everything that I watched in my childhood just being thrown in my face and packaged up in such a beautiful way. And this is what we and Gaz were talking about. It's like tropes that we saw when we were kids and moments we saw when we were kids, and then seeing them repackaged in a way so elegantly and so beautifully that it brings back all that nostalgia, but at the same time, like the emotions I was feeling just for the things that I was watching, but also the characters and stuff. It was I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and
I've got to say,
yeah.
That kind of final
okay.
scene, I dislike Nancy a lot because I just find it quite dull. But when she got that shotgun out, she was sick. Like, that was so good.
Yeah, that was cool.
Really cool. She's
She's much better in this season.
Yeah, she is improving.
because she's away from Jonathan. Jonathan is a drain.
Can we get
of
rid
everything.
of Jonathan?
And when she's back with Steve, suddenly she's got a bit about her, and we also know she had a gun before, so it's not that unrealistic that she'd know how to fire a weapon. So good.
Stop shooting him in the shoulder, though.
I love that they think just like pushing Vecna out the window will resolve
like
everything. It's like, he's gone.
Michael Myers thing.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Confirm
Halloween.
the kill.
And then
Confirm
confirm the kill.
Exactly right.
I mean, I was just getting all those vibes from Michael Myers, Terminator 2, Nightmare on Elm Street. It was all just coming back to me, just in these moments, and it was beautiful and it was great. It was perfectly edited again, and that's what I mean about these tangents and these threads. As much as we hated everyone being apart from each other, when they're intercut like they were in this final episode, I felt it kind of deserved it. I felt like they really brought it home, like the way that I kind of wanted them to. Maybe without the payoff of the big death of Max that we're talking about, but she might die in the future. Who knows? But I thought that Kate Bush thing was so good.
Yeah, but I mean, even if Max dies later, it's like, why didn't you just kill her before? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
She-
it's
yeah,
too
maybe.
late
She
now.
won't die
Maybe.
now.
imagine that. Imagine like the beginning of the new season, just literally 2 minutes in, dead, funeral. Like, why?
Hit by a bus. No.
Yeah, it's quite it's quite horrible. Obviously, we'll talk about it now, but when Elle goes in her mind and tries to find her and she's not there,
Hello.
it's quite a horrible.
Hello.
I mean, look about it this way, John. I mean, John, it's pretty it's pretty brutal if she is just
Where
brain
are
dead.
ya?
And she's just dead that way.
Let's be having you.
Let's be having it. No, it's pretty. It's pretty brutal if that is the case. I mean, I can't see him doing that. And a little nod to Emma here and Lucy. Did you see what book that Lucas was reading to?
The Talisman.
Yeah,
Stephen King.
I thought that was quite fun.
Because funny enough, I was talking about that the other day, and I've got the sequel out to read, Black House, soon.
I thought
Cheerful book to read to someone in a sort of demonic state.
Yeah. I thought it was quite a fun little piece. But John touched on this earlier, and I'll let you take the lead on this, guys. Hopper and Elle's reunion.
Nah.
You know, what do you
David
think?
Harbour's done such a good job this season. I don't think we've mentioned it because his section of storyline's been a bit but I think he's done such a good job. And he had to lose so much weight. Gosh.
Oh my gosh, he is. I want to get on his diet plan. Jesus, get me to a gulag. Get me to a gulag.
The gulag routine. Yeah, that was very gut wrenching. I think I was a bit of a mess by that point anyway, but it's just like
It's quite an emotional roller coaster,
kid.
wasn't it? And then when they reunited, I was like, oh my God. Just tears flooding.
Yeah.
Down
when
my
she
face.
said she always left the door open. No.
I always left it open
Hold the
3
door.
inches.
I think the generic sort of soundtrack, like not the actual music that they use, but the generic synth soundtrack this season has been fantastic as well. Like in that moment, you have this beautiful swell of these emotional synth beats, and the lighting's fantastic. And like Hopper comes in and he says, "I stole your look, kid." I love that line, man. I absolutely love that line. That was beautiful.
And she goes, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah, it did feel like that a bit. Like
Yeah.
when she spun the bottle, I was like, he's going to walk through the door, and then they delayed it a little bit. I was like, oh, that was, that would have been quite fun. But John, you loved it, didn't you? You loved that scene.
Yeah, absolutely loved it. Yeah. Hey,
It hits harder now that you're a father.
100%,
You're a father
100%,
and stuff like that.
It's look, as Lucy alluded to, he's been much better this season because, fucking hell, last season where he was painted as this horrific man, and then right at the end they gave him this kind of redeeming end. And then obviously he has the little speech and stuff, and you've been waiting all this season for them to reunite, and then when they did, it's off the back of fairly impressive season for David Harbour. So yeah, look, it's definitely hits harder as a dad, obviously, particularly if you've got a little daughter. So I was biting my lip a little bit, so I don't want to cry in front of my wife. I've seen it since, and it does make me tear up a little bit. Wobbly lip syndrome is probably what they would say. But no, I love it. Absolutely, I love it.
Was it the same for you guys?
Yeah, I took a few deep breaths and looked away from you.
Yeah, but you don't cry at anything.
No one's allowed to cry.
Gaz doesn't really cry. I'm an absolute baller. Like, and just talking about Terminator 2 later. Every time I watch Terminator 2, I cry when he puts the little thumbs up in the
I wish
lava.
I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller.
Yeah.
Well, Len is.
Yeah.
Len's sitting there with a massive gold chain.
Yeah.
2 grey t-shirts.
Jacked. Epic
Straightforward.
level.
Great chain.
But no, Gaz, you almost cried, did you? That's nice.
Yeah, I did. There were a couple of times I almost did, to be fair. That was probably the big one. I'm torn though a little bit as to whether I was thinking it's a shame that this hasn't happened earlier. Because, and I'm not necessarily just Hopper and Elle, but the whole gang. Like, we've been crying out for the gang to be together, and it's tough because you're right. It does lead to some really cool, well edited sequences, where we're getting all these disparate storylines being brought together and connected, and they did that well, but. Fundamentally, the thing that I think we all fell in love with Stranger Things for was the gang.
Yeah.
The group of kids hanging out and being kids in the 80s.
I do agree with you completely. And I think the only issue is they've got 5 seasons, right? And you've got to think from a writer's perspective, you've got to give these characters their individual threads and then to bring them back. Because if you didn't do that, we'd be complaining. I reckon if it was the other way around, and this is just me being cynical, I reckon we'd say they're still in fucking Hawkins. You know, they're still doing all this shit.
I don't think I will, and I can tell you if you listen back to maybe on like season 2 review, I think I said
the weakest season.
I'm really worried that they're going to try and take this into like a global.
Yeah, you did say that. You did say that.
And I don't want that to happen. Yeah. And like I love it. I loved it being this kind of local scale adventure.
Yeah.
Not everything has to become epic and world ending.
And what I will say, Gareth, is that segues beautifully into the last highlight, I think, which is, or discussion point, maybe this is a segue into the lowlights, which is the ending, which does illustrate that this is indeed becoming potentially world ending. However, Gareth, I will say that I feel like the ending is epic. I feel it's still Hawkins related. I think there's still going to be the government, and there's still going to be Harkins, and there's still going to be the kids, and I think there's going to be this element to it. I don't think it's going to be like, America unified against the Upside Down or anything.
I think they've got to be careful about it. We were talking about how John and I were both like, Gareth will hate the fact that it's gone, more than just small town, and actually I agree.
Global.
I'm with Gareth. I almost called him Gary then. I'm with Gareth on this, and I think yes, it's okay if it gets a little bit bigger, but I think it would ruin the last season if.
Thought you hated big things.
It would ruin the last season if it wasn't just
that.
saving Hawkins.
Yeah, make your
because
mind
if you save
up,
Hawkins,
darling.
you save the world, and I don't want it to be like on CNN everywhere, and this, that, and the other. It's got to keep that small town vibe because that's what makes it so magical. I'm just ignoring all of you taking the piss out of me now. Hate it. Furious. You can walk to the station. No, but that is part of its charm, and that we lost a little bit of that this season. But bringing them all back together, it did work in the end, I think. And so hopefully,
I think next season they tease it up quite nicely for them to all be together from the start, though. Do you know what I mean? So next season it's fucking they're there. But also, did you guys think like Stranger Things has gone a bit Game of Thronesy in terms of its epicness this season, mega epic, or whatever? What did I say? Max epic?
Epic
levels.
Max epic.
Max epic.
That's a new character.
Maximum reviews.
Maximum reviews. But did you not think the end shot was quite Game of Thronesy? It was very Game of Thronesy with the sweat, with the synth. You remember when Game of Thrones season? I think it was the penultimate season finished with the Game of Thrones theme, but sort of slightly rearranged. And they had this sprawling shot of the wall coming down, and spoilers for Game of Thrones. And basically, this season panned around, and you had all of the. It's like when Dany was sailing over in the ships, and heading towards Westeros. Yeah, Dany, fucking go on, Dany. Turns out she's a dickhead. But in all seriousness,
spoiler warning.
You had that rearrangement of the theme. Of the Stranger Things theme, and I was like, this is really cool. I really like this. It's got this sort of like, okay, this is it now. This is the end game. Spoiler warning for that as well.
Spoiler for end game as well.
So
yeah.
All spoilers.
But I don't know. Do you know what that shot made me think? It made me think of like, it did make me think of a Marvel style kind of movie.
Fucking slagging it off.
It's just gonna be like a fight, like a big fight.
Fight. And you have to fight, Elle. You have to fight. But right now, Elle, you need to just fight.
Fight.
You win.
Fight.
Finish
him.
Yeah.
Fatality.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you think they could
it was
have-
like what's gonna happen in this? Like, it's just gonna be battle time.
Go on, John.
Yeah, like, do you think they could have? They've always been really good with the transitions of going from the Upside Down into the real world and vice versa.
Yep.
Do you think they could have, like? I know it's difficult because obviously it's the sky, so it's like, well, you can't fade upwards and then go round the corner and then come from the top. Like, do you not feel like the transition wasn't very like consistent with anything that they've done before? Do you think they could have done it a different way?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think they could have maybe done it a different way. But I think the thing that Vecna said before he went is like, you think you've won, but you've already lost. This is the beginning of the end, and that's what the Duffer Brothers have been kind of saying.
He's a little bit more terrifying when he says it.
Yeah, this is the
He's
beginning.
not like
Yeah.
bitchy or anything.
I love his voice.
Oh, we think you've won, do you? All right, give it a
You
while.
think you won? No, you fucked it up. So
Wow. Actually, I think you're fine. This is
Because I've gone to HR. Actually, I've recorded everything you've said. So
I do think the
You'll
flower.
soon be getting your comeuppance.
I do think though, John, the meadow dying is a bit tacky. I think it's a bit on the nose. Do you know what I mean? The meadow where it sort of just turns grey and there's all these really colourful flowers and they sort of die.
well, it's very quick. So it's kind of like what?
Yes.
How are we?
It's instant. It's instant. So that's what I mean.
Instant.
Season 5 is going to be like fuck. It's like season 5's like we've got to do something right now. Like
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, so
But is
then what? They're just
season
going to fight.
5?
They're just going to do a fight.
Is season 5? How is it going to sustain this storyline over another 8?
I don't think it will be.
7-hour
I
episodes?
don't think it will be. I think it'll be like 4 episodes. I see it being shortened, but like
What's
long.
the point?
What do you mean? What's the point?
What's the point?
Why didn't they just finish
also,
it in this one?
Why have we got to wait till 2024
What
for
do you
that?
mean? Yeah, we've got to wait for that. Yeah.
Maybe they'll do a thing where it's like, yeah, so this stuff that's falling from the sky, and it's
Yeah.
killing all the plants and stuff. Also, it makes the kids age dramatically. Because it's literally
Like
going to
2
be
like
years.
Chernobyl,
Yeah.
but with aging.
Yeah, Dustin just with a little goatee. Like, where's that come from?
Oh.
Also, why have you called it a goatee?
You're gonna look
instead
so
of a
old.
goatee?
Because it is a goatee.
Goatee.
Yes,
Goatee.
goatee.
It's a goatee.
It's a goatee.
Goatee.
Yeah, it's a goatee.
Yeah,
No, it's a
goatee.
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 Stop
Goatee.
saying that now.
Your goatee.
Goatee.
The word has lost all meaning.
Well, let's move on to lowlights. One of them goatee, but Argyle, he's terrible. And I'll tell you what is funny. Mel, my partner, turned to me. We've just been doing a Star Wars rewatch, which anyone who listens to our Star Wars podcast will know. And we've just got past episode 2, John. So we did 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, and now we're on episode 3. And when we were watching the Stranger Things finale, she said, "This guy is fucking Jar Jar Binks." And I was like, yes, he is fucking abysmal. What are they doing with this character in here? He is too much. Too much.
He's just
He's
so
not in it
out
that
of
much, though.
keeping. He's so out of keeping.
Nah, but he
with everyone
ruined
else.
scenes. He's the furthest they've ever gone into like an
Cartoon.
Cartoon, yeah. Like Robin is gimmicky, but she is good gimmick. Like I love her character. But this guy's a fucking joke. I know John doesn't like him. I know Gaz doesn't like him. Defend him then, Lucy. Defend him, Emma. You defend him.
I'm not defending him. I don't think he's
No,
in it
go on, you said
as
you're
long
in love
enough
with
to
him.
ruin the show.
Yeah, go on. Get your little bin lid with
He
knives
has
on
nice
it.
hair.
Yeah.
No, he's very annoying, and I
Has
also
nice hair.
think
It's got awful hair. That's the
especially,
worst thing.
especially as he's kind of like a foil to Jonathan, who's basically doesn't need to be in the show. Like
Yeah.
he's such a fucking cipher in this season. No, he's really annoying. No, don't get me
He
wrong,
needs to
but I
fucking
also
laugh
kind of
out
think
it.
he doesn't like offend me that much.
See, I think Len put it well, and I agree with this. Like, he ruins almost every scene that he's in. for
His
me.
voice is pretty annoying.
His
That
voice
whole
is-
dude thing was really annoying.
Yeah,
with
it's
the
just
pizza man.
it's just
my
like
word.
I think they could have
Yeah.
done it just dialed
My
back
dude,
a level.
my dude.
He didn't need.
My
Yeah,
dude.
he didn't need to not exist.
just
Jonathan
need
could have had a friend.
He could have just been a bit more in the middle, like not it's a bit more wacky than Jonathan, but nowhere near as wacky as Argyle.
I mean, that's like two ends of the spectrum, isn't it? Like
Poopy,
fucking
isn't
More
he?
wacky
fun
than Jonathan.
cipher Jonathan.
Kill
and-
him.
A bit more
off.
wacky than Jonathan is that he wears a hoodie.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Jonathan.
my dude.
And it's orange.
No,
I'll tell you what annoys me about him. Like everything he touches turns to shit. So you got the bit where it's so oh yeah, so we need shitloads of salt, and he's like, oh, how much do we need? Oh yeah, I know somewhere, and it's like, well yeah, the fucking pizza place, because that's all you are. What's the point in this interaction? It's not a surprise, is it? Like,
Right.
oh fucking, he's terrible, isn't he?
and then they have this like epic scene where there's like this montage cutting together of everyone getting ready, and he's making a fucking pizza, and I was just like, oh fuck off.
It's his
Check out
superpower.
this pie, dudes.
Yeah, stop
It's
calling it a
got pineapple
pie.
on this pie.
Don't
Try
blow
before
your
you
mind.
deny.
Yeah, try before you deny. Fuck me. Anyway, we will be giving away try before you deny t-shirts
They are grey.
To all
In
of our
grey.
listeners.
They're coming too late.
Oh man, you know, like fucking Redbubble will have a shitload of try
yeah.
before you deny t-shirts.
Bestseller.
Surfer Boy Pizza.
Surfer Boy Pizza, yeah. I'm going to get you that for Christmas, Gaz.
Well,
Surfer
apparently
Boy Pizza
Quicksilver
t-shirt.
has done a Stranger Things collab with a collab with
Lucy in
Stranger
the
Things,
know.
and has done all this Surfer Boy stuff. And what was the town
I think
they
I've
were
seen
in?
that actually. Yeah.
In,
California.
It
California.
actually looks quite
It's not
nice.
a town, it's a state.
It's a
but
small
yeah.
town called
The town of
California.
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 Was it? I can't remember, but it's all that kind of surfer look. So
Yeah,
check it out
yeah.
if you're interested.
Okay, check it
Yeah.
out on our
In the
our
worst
merch-
part of the
Before you
fucking
deny.
show. Yeah.
So there you go.
Check it out on our merch store. Check it
Yeah.
out.
Epic level, maximum
thought-
reviews, and try before you deny.
I thought you
And
were
jacked.
Just on a t-shirt.
Let's
now
get
coming
jacked.
in grey.
5 blue sirens.
I thought Yuri was a terrible character. Really,
Yeah.
Like, he just kept
like
making
borderline
jokes.
offensive.
He wasn't as bad as
He
Gary.
just kept making jokes about fucking women, and I was just like, this is just it's gone too far now.
I think he's like the
bit
parody.
of blue for dads. Bit of blue.
He's almost like the
He's
even
blue,
more,
Alan. He's blue.
even more parody version of Murray. And I like Murray, but
Yeah.
Yuri's like the
Yeah, Murray's good
rushed,
though.
He's
but,
too
like,
funny.
extreme version, and it's not that funny. That's what I have to
I
say.
think that's the problem. It just wasn't very funny, was it?
No.
It's very jarring to the rest of the show.
Jar
A
Jar
bit like
Binks thing.
Argyle, I guess.
Yeah.
And what sort of arc did he have as well? It's like
Nothing.
you know, you've
What happened to him in the end?
Well, he
I
got the
can't remember.
helicopter, didn't he, and then got him home.
Antonov said, reminded him that he was once a soldier.
Once a soldier.
Weren't you once a soldier?
I
Oh,
heard of a
yes,
Oh, yeah.
I
soldier.
was. I will go and do the helicopter.
Yeah, but
He is
Antonov's
very
like, "Can you
good."
stop being a fucking dick, mate? Honestly, this is a piss. You're taking the piss, man." And he's like,
Taking a
"Okay,
bit.
all right then,
So, yeah, good point. Yeah,
no
fair
problem.
enough.
I make my girlfriend fly. I'll go away, mate. Honestly, fuck it. I hope it crashes.
I
when
will
you're testing
just
it.
have sex with her first.
Yeah.
He still didn't die.
No, he didn't die. So he's going to be the hero. He's going to be the one who dies in season 5, and then John will go, they've bottled it again. They killed fucking Yuri off.
Yeah, but you'll be sitting
I
there
will
in
say that.
tears, going, "Oh, do you know what? When he died,
That's such a good character, aren't they, Yuri? So emotional.
Well played. Well played to the Duffer Brothers if they've written him back in that well. I will say that. I think the Jonathan, Will, and Mike stuff, like, yeah, you're right. Like, it was easily the weakest part of the season. The Will confusion at this point, which I obviously we all agree that he fancies or is in love with Mike. Sorry, we all agree that that's where they're
Fancies.
going with this.
is this
Quite fancy, Mike.
has this gone from a podcast to just idle chit chat in school?
Oh, quite fancy.
Do you know he fancies? Yeah,
Who do you fancy?
yeah.
Mike? I mean, not Mike.
Taylor.
Will.
your Will. Can't fancy
Yeah, I
yourself.
fancy myself.
Um,
Self-love, man.
I will
no, but
say,
you know what I mean. Like, go on.
I will say,
Oh.
I mean, Jonathan is. yeah, okay, yeah, good. Anyway, I won't say that. Okay, Jonathan is as dull as dishwater, but that little speech that he has with his
That was
his little
good.
brother,
The brother,
that was pretty
the brother
good.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
I
good.
loved that.
That was
I actually
good.
loved that speech.
I wish we
and-
had a bit more of that kind of thing, as in more of a relationship between them. Because like Aaron walked in at that bit, and he was like, "Oh, is he in love with him?" I was like, "That's his brother." And I was like, "Oh, I forgot that." I was like, "Yeah,
he just fancies
because
yeah, he's reading
we
between
haven't.
the lines.
There's not been any of that connection though. There's not been any connection between Will and Jonathan are brothers. And then the first season, he did everything he could to save him, and then we've not really seen that relationship at all, which
Yeah,
is a
you
real
are right.
shame. I think
Do you
again
know
they've
what,
undersold
Lucy?
them.
I think season one of my favorite kind of relationships, and it was like an unspoken relationship because he wasn't in the season most of the time, was Will and Jonathan. Like seeing
Yeah.
like how painful everything was for Jonathan. Like his little brother, his little brother's gone, and like his mum is obviously devastated, and he's trying to sort of keep the household together as best as he can.
And he was less
Like,
shit
that-
then because you
and-
gave a shit, right? He's just
He
shit now because
was.
he's
Well,
Well,
he had
useless
a
as well.
character.
He had a
Yeah.
character, and like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he's shy and quiet, and like
No.
that's fine. That's
Smelly.
a character trait. Or smelly.
Probably.
All of those things are fine. But he cared about his brother, and he loved him, and it was good to see that come back. And I think it's a little. I don't know. What do you think? I think it's a little bit of a shame that Will didn't. Maybe it's a good thing that it wasn't explicit, but I think that he could have come out to him explicitly, and I think that could have been quite a powerful thing. And
He did he sort of masked it with the Elle commissioned this drawing for you. I don't think
Yeah.
she did at all. I think
No.
he drew that from his
Why would
heart.
Elle commission a drawing?
Yeah, exactly right.
It's also
So
the worst drawing ever.
I quite
Anyone else
liked it.
laugh?
I
Okay,
quite
that's
liked
just me
it.
being mean.
I
It's
mean,
just
better
the
than what I
reveal, and
could
you're
do.
like, oh,
Right,
that's what
art
you've been
critic
working
Lucy
on.
Barron.
Right.
Lucy's like,
Yeah.
fuck D&D, fuck
I
art.
can't even
Yeah.
draw in a straight line, but
So
sure.
before I forget, because obviously we're doing low lights here. That fucking bit where he's like, "No, look, remember you're the heart, yeah." And he's like, "Oh yeah. What the fuck?
Since when?
What the fuck is that? Honestly,
You're the
No, wait. Are we talking about the Matrix? Are we talking about the Matrix speech?
yeah,
no, but the speech
before
is
the Matrix
fine,
speech.
but it's the bit.
Yeah, okay,
It's
before
when Will
where he's
says
like,
to Mike, "You're the
but-
heart.
Yeah.
You're the one that drives us all. This is."
It's
know,
like,
blah,
remember,
blah, blah.
you're the heart. You're the best looking one, aren't you? With your muscles and that. I'm like, why are you saying that?
That's Steve. Where's Steve?
Yeah, it's just like, honestly, winds me up.
Fucking
Just
hell.
remember that painting. Remember that painting I showed you where you've got the shield and
It's got
he's
a
like, yeah, I
heart on
didn't
it.
like that because I didn't have any clothes on. He's like, no, the other painting that I did. Yeah, so it's just like, it's shit, isn't it? It's so shit. Remember, you're the heart, yeah? Oh, yeah, fuck, I forgot about that.
I think it's a shame because
Yeah.
it could have been
I'm the
better.
heart.
I think if Mike had not been such a wet blanket, and him and Will have been able to
Oh,
have an
that's
actual.
out of order.
It's not though, is it? It's true. I don't really like Mike. I felt like that conversation
That's because
between
he's not
him
been
and-
given anything to do.
Well, yeah, so it's not really his fault. But I kind of felt like I didn't buy into Mike at all in this season. I just found him a bit ugh. But that conversation between him and Will could have been so much better. And instead it was just weird. And now I've seen that meme and all I can see is a thumb with a wig on it when I look at Will.
And he bursts into tears in the car.
Oh my
yeah.
god, that is so funny. That
I
meme.
haven't seen it.
It's so funny.
I
It's
haven't
like
seen it.
for any listeners who haven't seen it, check it out. But it's basically when they have the thing. It's like when when he turns away and starts crying in the van
Yes.
after he said it. Like it says all that Mike can see, and it's a thumb with a fucking wig on it because his haircut's so bad.
That's so stupid.
haircut's not 80s.
He's in fucking floods of tears. You'd be like, "You're right, mate. What's up with you?"
Yeah,
You
but
wouldn't just go-
Mike is quite. Although Mike is the heart, he is quite selfish at the moment.
He's very self-centered.
Yeah.
He's not the heart at all.
Yeah, he's not the heart.
He's yeah.
He's the heart for
He's
Elle.
always acted on his own interest. Yeah, he's like, I'm bringing her into this, I'm doing that. Like Will just loves him.
I think. Yeah, well, that's true.
I do think Will, the actor that plays Will, struggles to go through the range of emotions. Like
Yeah.
he's either kind of, miserable and gloomy, or
Flux
like
affect.
crying. Like those are his two things, aren't
Yeah.
they? Like he doesn't sort of ramp up slowly.
Noah Schnapp.
I don't think
Yeah,
he gets the
definitely.
chance though.
If you listen to
I
this,
feel
Noah,
like
Gareth
they haven't written
apologizes.
No,
they
I
haven't
do.
written
I mean,
him very well.
Yeah, it might be that, and like he does the crying stuff well. It was convincing.
Yeah,
They
but
should
crying
have killed
would be-
him off,
Um,
man. They should have killed him off.
No, well, John, let's move on
Or
to
made
this
him
then.
evil.
Well, Lucy, hold you both of you on the next section, which we're going to move on to right now. Beautiful segue. Theories. Will is going to be a massive player in season 5, in my opinion, because of his link to Vecna and previous things.
Player.
Player.
He's gonna be a baller.
Yeah.
Jack's player.
He's gonna be a
Player,
Jack's
please.
baller.
Jacked.
Do you,
Oh, actually, where'd you get that Maximum Reviews T-shirt from? That looks really cool, actually.
Do they have it in anything other than grey?
5 bloobs
No.
t-shirts on in the merch store now. Do you think that? So I've put here, Will sacrifice himself because he'll be like the link between Vecna or something in my theories. But then Lucy said,
You've written here, Will to not be shot. Might sacrifice
not be shit.
himself.
Not be shit. That is meant to say.
No.
Might sacrifice himself or save the day.
I miss Len's notes. Just so
Yeah.
misspelled.
Will
all the
will
time.
Yeah,
not
I'm gonna
be
be
shot.
I speed type.
I say
probably
he will be
won't.
shot
Speed
in
type,
season
yeah.
5. I know. I think you might be right, Len, in that, you know, as they got back to Hawkins, obviously he gets his connection to the Upside Down back again, and I think we're going to come full circle with season 5, and I think it's going to focus back on Will, and I don't think that's a bad thing. But please, can you
No.
get a better haircut?
Yeah, a better haircut. Oh my god.
Yeah, do a haircut.
So
Jesus
bad.
Christ. I don't think there's gonna be a big time jump though. It's a shame. So it's gonna have the same shit hair. I've put here, and we talked about Will's drawing. Will's drawing of the party fighting the 3-headed monster, is that Vecna's final form? Like a Thessal
hope not.
Hydra? Because they've always used, in the D&D setting, they've always used the D&D villains. So they've always had like the Demogorgon, then they had
It's
the
always a
Mind
bit
Flayer,
coincidental, isn't
then
it?
they had Vecna,
Yeah.
and then the drawing is a 3-headed dragon, which is a Thessal Hydra, which has been referenced in the show before,
Yeah.
but we've never seen. Do we think that could be Vecna's final form?
Do you think that actually
Comes back
Will
as a
is
Thessal
making
Hydra.
everything happen through D&D?
Stop saying that. Obsessed,
No.
man. You've said it once.
Thessal
That's it.
No,
Hydra.
yeah. Actually, sorry, I wanted to mention this earlier because I think you two spoke about it in the first pod on this season. No,
I mean, it's like a joke. It's like, stop fucking playing. Like, these things keep coming, and you're like, oh, it's just like the thing in my game.
You're part of the problem.
Buying, yeah, you're buying
part of the
into
problem.
the whole
Kill
like
the Hellfire
satanic
Club.
panic thing.
Fuck me.
No,
Yeah,
they're-
I'm totally bought into Satanic Panic.
Yeah, it's just some kids. Trust me, Len and I play D&D.
Yeah, that's why
Len
you're on the other
mostly,
side of the world. now.
and
Safety.
it's
Yeah, look how
Upside
good the
down.
world is now. Thank you for fucking ruining the
Safe.
planet. Global warming's your fault because you like
COVID.
brought ahead the kind of
Yeah.
CO2 monster or something. I don't know.
yeah, we did do this.
I blame you.
To be
Um,
fair.
Play Monopoly.
CO2
No, but
monster.
I think you coming back to season 5, coming back to Will and the gang all together in Hawkins and D&D and all of that stuff. I think it would be a really nice homage to season 1.
They can't
And
play D&D
I'll tell
while
you
the
what,
world is
come
burning.
on.
They can.
If they're playing Dungeons and Dragons whilst the world is
No,
in
but you
what I
know
mean.
what I mean, like the links to it. And stuff,
Toxic
and that.
ash is coming up into the air. No.
That's a good point.
I think
Um,
if, going back to your point, Len, if he's a 3-headed Hydra, that's going to look shit. I prefer him as a man.
Correct. I do agree. I do agree
I
with you,
prefer
Lucy.
him as a man.
I prefer him as a man. Tall, dark, and handsome, please. And flesh rotting off of him.
an
You don't know
innocent
me at
man.
all. No,
Viney.
just normal
Um,
men.
I've put here, Max is still in Vecna's subconscious. Could be the key, question mark. Like she's trapped in between realms. Could
She
be
ain't
that.
in her conscience.
Yeah, no, but
subconscious.
she's still got a direct link to his brain, which could be the way that he's defeated. Because it seems like Molotovs and shotguns don't work.
She's still connected to his brain.
Right.
Something I don't possess.
Len,
really.
Len makes an appearance in the new season as a scientist.
I'd like to look at the brain.
Oh, I've got
I
no lung
believe she
capacity to
still
laugh.
lives
Don't.
through the connection of their brains.
Please. I have made a presentation about it.
Did I say brain? Did I actually say brain?
Right.
Brain.
Oh, I need to
It's going to be a world
Fuck
of
me.
My
brain.
assistant. Fuck me.
Please come and see my presentation about the brain.
Working the pop filter as well, that is. That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what do we think about that theory?
What was it?
I reckon that
Theory?
I reckon
Right.
that guy that says Bwains will be the first to be killed in the new season.
Oh, give him stuff to
Oh,
see.
sure, why not?
I know, I think there could still be a connection. That's a good idea. And then maybe she should die.
I mean, she is somewhere. Like, she's not alive, she's not dead, so she's got to be somewhere, scientifically speaking.
Greece.
You know.
Just in Greece.
She Grace.
Yeah. Anyway, and the final theory. Now we've had a good old chuckle, we've had a bit of fun, haven't we? Is do we all
Finally.
think that Elle is going to die in the final season?
No one ever really dies.
I think 11 will die. Personally,
No.
I think that's the
She'll
big
die,
stakes.
and then there'll be a teaser trailer that she's actually in Russia again, and it'll
fuck
start
it.
again. We'll never
Hopefully
be free.
not.
Fucking kill people.
There is a spin-off, Lucy. There is going to be a Stranger Things spin-off.
If
What,
it's not
there is?
Steve,
Yuri's
I don't wanna know
Adventures in
about it.
Russia.
Could be. Shagging
I'd
all
watch
his birds.
What's
And
the
helicopters.
shagging all
Disgusting.
these birds? Did you just say? Is that what you just
Yeah.
said? Fucking hell.
Yeah. He
it
talks
actual
about it,
birds?
not me. I'm just relaying his information.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. You're inside his brain. So, what's the spin-off?
Yeah, what is this?
No one knows yet, but they're saying it's completely unrelated from.
Is this like Arya's
group.
Adventures in Westeros kind of thing?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Do you think we
Maybe a
will?
crossover.
Do you think we'll ever see again the other numbers, those randomers that turned up halfway
Oh,
through
do you know-
season
Oh, yeah, I
two?
saw about them.
Yeah.
I was speaking to somebody about this yesterday, and I had completely wiped them
Yeah.
from my memory.
Yeah.
They were.
It's 8, wasn't it?
It was like a
Was it
repressed
six,
memory.
6 or 8 or
Fucking
8.
bizarre.
Well, I think they were
How
so
weird was
bad
that?
that they just wiped them from the show because obviously we
Yeah.
saw all the other numbers. I mean, we might
Oh,
not
they
know
were
who
sh-
they were,
yeah.
but we saw that they got killed, so they've just canonically removed them and gone, no, that never happened. Don't worry
Yeah.
about that one.
They-
That was
pretend
a
that
writer's
didn't
strike.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point.
Yeah, I think it's hard now to reintroduce them, but they do need to boost Elle's power somehow. Whether that's an Avengers style situation where there's multiple of them, or
Nah,
she
love.
gets boosted
Love
by
will
love,
do
love again. Yeah,
Mike and his heart.
and then power of love
Good
is the
old
song.
love.
The power of
Yeah,
love.
Mike, come over here. We need love. Yeah, it's fucking he's a
I
kid,
love
mate.
you.
Jesus
You have a
heart.
Christ.
Ah, yeah.
Hey, Heart Boy, get over here and bring Wayne Boy with you.
Yeah, who's the brave? Like, who
Yeah, where's the
are the
courage?
others then? So,
Dustin?
Well, it's heart,
Lucas, you're the lungs.
heart,
And-
fire, earth, wind, and water, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Season
planet.
5. Supported by Earth, Wind and Fire.
Oh yeah, have a bit of
Well,
that in the next season. Yeah.
They are some lovely theories, and that brings a close to this podcast, guys. I have to say,
We're
and
closed.
it has been a lot of fun. Close for business. Do you know what? It actually has been hilarious to have all 5 of us back together again.
It's been really good.
And hopefully we can do much more of it in the future because it's just been schedules and whatnot, and life gets in the way. It does, Gareth, and it will be nice to have all 5 of us together. And I think for things like this and things like the new Game of Thrones, which I know we're all interested in, House of the Dragon, and stuff like that, I think it would be good to have.
What's that then?
What's that about dragons and that? It'd be nice to have all 5 of us together, for sure. And I hope the listeners have enjoyed hearing us all back together again.
Too
it's not been a
loud.
shock to the
Too
system.
loud, actually.
Yeah, it is quite loud. It is quite loud, but that's fine. That's okay. That's the way we are, John. Don't you having to go at Will for the way he is. You having to go at me for the way I am. Jeez, I'm jacked, bro. Okay, get over it.
I'm jacked,
Anyway.
bro.
I don't know
Jesus.
if Will's jacked, to be honest.
Anyway, I want to thank you all for being with us today. You can indeed go to patreon.com/fancritical to please donate us some lovely monies. We have fantastic Patreons on there. You can
it's all about that
get
with
some
you, isn't it?
bonus content. Shout out to a new Patreon who's Eric Rin.
Eric Rin.
Eric Rin.
We've shouted you
Third
out
of
on
his
another
name.
podcast, but we have your commission podcast on the way on Patreon. If you want to hear that, you go to patreon.com/fancritical. And please, if you just want to support the show, support our costs, operating costs, technical costs, like microphones,
Loads.
stuff like that. This is not our day job.
Mental costs.
We have jobs and we do this in our spare time. And we hope you guys enjoy it. So if you do want to support us in any way, the smallest way possible, please go to patreon.com/fancritical. Go to the website, fancritical.com. You can follow us on Instagram at fan_critical, Twitter at fancriticalpod, and fancritical on Facebook. Just search that and you'll see us. Thanks, John. Thank you very much, mate, for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emma.
You're welcome. It's been epic level podcasting. today.
Jesus. No, thanks. Yeah, very good. Luce, thank you for joining us in your COVID state.
You're welcome.
Oh,
having me.
nice.
That's
No
great.
worries. That we
I'm
really
so
appreciate
brave.
it. You're very brave. The parade is happening very shortly. If you look outside your window, it'll be there 5 or 10
parade.
minutes.
I'm going to live
Gaz?
stream it.
It's not a parade, it's a funeral, isn't it?
Oh, fuck it. Jesus, brutal.
Near the mark.
We'll go have some more
Brutal.
beers and
Please.
chill this evening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's go and
let's go
let's
get
go
jacked.
watch more Stranger Things.
Let's go watch more Stranger Things from the
the
start.
start.
We're gonna go watch it from the start because we love it so much. But anyway, thanks so much, guys, and we'll be back. I think we're doing Thor next. I don't know who's doing that. We're doing it. One or two of us, or three of us. Not five of us, but one or two of us.
Thunder.
Yeah, then just got Mike in there going, love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you later, guys. Peace.
Bye.
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 Goodbye.